Hey coaches, this is Coach Parker with CoachParker.org. How you guys doing today? Today I have another video on the 353 defense. We're going to go into stunting and blitzing. This is part one of that section for defensive linemen. Again, subscribe, hit the like, notify, all that good stuff helps me with the algorithms. Also head over to Coach Parker, see all my playbooks. Enough of that. Let's jump right into the 353 defense. So today we're going to be talking about the three main defensive linemen, which are the left tackle, nose guard, and right tackle. And they have names of Dan for the left tackle, Tom, right tackle, and Knob for the nose guard. Now these names are coming out of my 6'2" multi-8 youth football defense. So all of this information really is so the 353 becomes a package or an addendum to that particular playbook. And that's how I'm working through this. So a lot of the blitz calls and everything are coming from that playbook. So we're going to be talking about those three players. The 353, I've actually broken up the group names, so because there's a lot of pieces in this particular defense, and it can get sophisticated and as simple as you want. And so right here, the Hogs, those are those three main defensive linemen. You know, every now and then, if you're coming out of that 6'2" defense, the gunner and the DNs, the outside linebackers will move down. But in this 353, we're just talking about Hogs are the three main defensive linemen. Bulldog or Knob is the nose guard. The Titans, it's easy. That's Dan and Tom, which are the defensive tackles. Now, I name those so we can move people around and call those names out. You can set up nicknames, which I also do because some of the coaches within my league know my terminology because I used to host the clinics, and they still use a lot of my materials to give the clinics. So there's that, but you can do what you want to do there, but those are my names. This is talking about Minks and Hogs, which are the three middle linebackers and the three main down linemen. Just so you know, in all of this in the 353, I think Joe Daniel and Campbell talked about it, and also Cousins and his books. And these are the resources in the back where you could say that the three middle linebackers, inside guys, the Minks, they're always going to make the D-line gap sound. That's their job. So really this defense should always be gap sound because your three linebackers should always notice if someone got blocked and there's a green hole and they've got to stuff the hole. So that's how that works. So we're just talking about that real quick. The other thing with some responsibilities on these three down linemen, the Knob is going to control the A gaps. The defensive tackles have, anything really between the B, somewhat outside of the C, and they're trying to contain the quarterback and bounce, tackle the running back to the outside and not go right down the middle. And that's kind of where we're talking about here on that. The gaps, techniques, and alignments, I'm pretty easy on this. I don't try to get the technical football stuff. I use the same hole numbering I do for my offense as my gaps. And then we just say outside shoulder, head up, inside shoulder to play the gap. So that's how I do that. Even numbers are on the left, odd numbers are on the right. I've got this @ sign over here, which I call ought for the zero hole out there. I've got my gaps lined up here, A, B, C, D, and E, which are Apache, Bomber, Cobra, Dog, and Eagle. So you can call blitzes off of these numbers, and I do that, and off of the name. So I could say, Rover, Lou Bomber. So that would be left bomber, or you could just say Rover Bomber. He knows he's on that side. He's got that bomber blitz. So that's how you can call that. These are all the calls mostly in the 6'2" defense. I've added some 353 here. Still working on that. But here's what we're talking about today. stunt calls for the defensive linemen, the Hogs, those 3 down linemen. And you can see here, we'll go over a couple of these in this next video, which are going to really add in some of the linebacker stuff. So let's just get right into them here. The base, so in the 3-5-3, there's your 3 linemen. They're head up on the tackles, the Dan and Tom, and the knob is head up on the center, and that's how they play. Now, and you can switch this for your base. In my base, I'm having the inside linebackers read B gaps first before they go out. They've got the speed to do that. They can notice it, and then they can help with the C. Everybody wants to run C and out. The middle linebacker and the nodes are responsible for the A gaps there. But the 3 down linemen, you can see what's going on there. And really, the mic and the nose always have to talk about where they're gonna go. So all 3 of them, all 6 of them have to really make sure they've got that all covered. So, but that's the base responsibility there. And I've got the other guys, but we're not going to talk about that today. So let's hear. So right now we're going to talk about the Hawks. So this is Badger Strong. You've got all those running backs over there on the left here. That's why I made the strong call here. The Hogs are going to go weak. So you can see that, or rat or right, and you can see them all going that way. On this slide, we've got the Hogs in a work lean stunt, which means work is going to shift them to right, and lean's going to make them slant to the left. So you can see what's going to happen there. Of course, the linebackers, and I haven't got them in there, are going to do what they need to do to fill those 3 remaining gaps there. So they'll do that. We'll talk about that next time with them. Next slide here, I've got a Hogs Army slant right. So they're all going slant right. You can see what's going on. These are all pretty base and simple. Didn't want to complicate it. Also, if you don't like my, Army call R for right there, and you want to name it something else, just slant right, you could certainly simplify that and do that. This is my terminology I've used forever, so that's really up to you guys. Orange slice, we used to play against a team that liked to sweep a lot, not run up the middle. So I've got, this is orange slice, which is a right slice, 2 to 3 gaps where they're kind of shuffling down, trying to get 2 to 3 gaps over on that. That works out really good for teams that are sweeping and like to run outside and don't run too many counters. I really like that one. Here you've got a Hogs lazy shift left, and then the explode slant outside gap, which is really good. So I like that a lot, the explode. That works out good once again for another teams that like to run outside. Let's see here, we've got so here we've got the Hog pinch implode, and this is where Mike and Nose just need to work out where they're going to go. I do have another blitz in here because this was another slide, but implode means they're pinching. Explode, implode, instead of yelling out pinch. So they're going to their inside gaps on that. Let's see here. So if I called Ned X, Ned is the terminology like Ted that means we're going to go jam the tight end. So you could say jam XTE for Ned, and there he goes over there. But Ned X is going to the tight end over there, which was the X tight end. And you may call that tight end something else, so you can tell him what to do. We usually, for younger kids, whoever that gunner is over there, we could say Ned to, Dan's, or not Dan, but say that guy's name was Steve. Go to Steve's tight end, because it's easier for them to somehow remember, hey, oh yeah, that's my player, and there's a tight end lined up over him. So you can do that too. North and Neil are the 2 calls for the nose, just to shift right and left. And so here it is. You've got that there. He's just shifting there. And then you've got so this is any player you can do this. This is one thing interesting about when I've named all the holes and gaps and players. You can just say, hey, knob, go to 6, knob at 6. He's going to go to the 6 hole. So you can see 2, 4, 6. He's just going to line up in that 6 hole now. But I can move him knob to 8, knob to eagle, knob to dog, knob to Apache, Lou. So you can move players around really easy with that kind of player X, hole gap X terminology there. And you can do that with anybody. So that's just the knob I'm moving there. Here he is, a lime slice for the knob. He's going 2 gaps. Once again, this is really great play if they're playing more outside, not running up the middle. Let's see, we got so in this one, this is one of those double slides here, but we're only talking about 3 down linemen. So a buffalo, I don't want to yell out bull rush, guys. So I call it buffalo. So they're just going to run over the bull rush. Those guys there, those 3 down linemen. Here's another one. I just say Dan left, tight end Y. So you can see he goes over and he's going to jam that tight end there on that call. Then we got, if we say Titans, which are the 2 tackles, Titans tight, they go in, if we think they're going to wedge or run an A gap kind of trap, there you got that. If we say wide, they're going to go out to inside shoulder of the tight end. I want them in a wide C there. So they're going to do that where they're used to playing that in that 6-2 wide tackle. Your linebackers are really going to cover that open middle there. And you may have, a stun on with those 3 in that middle, and then Fred comes down as a fight into the Mike linebacker area. So you could do that. Titans double wide, so they're moving out to the D gaps. That's really risky, but maybe they're passing or whatever. I don't know, but you could do that. That's in there. Then you have shift Lou. Titans shift Lou with instead of the Hogs shifting, you just have the Titans that are going to shift left. And the same thing with Rat, and you've got it there. And then this is where you're bringing back more into if they're going to run in the middle. And I'm going to choose you may want to sub for this because Gunner in your 3-5-3 is a smaller guy. So this is when you run in a bigger lineman. And then you call big guns, and that puts your 4 biggest linemen, your 2 biggest in A gaps, your next 2 biggest in B gaps, and you really think they're going up in the middle. So that's what big guns means. So you can switch out. Right now, I've got the nose and the RT are the 2 biggest, but if G and LT were the 2 biggest, they would go to A, the others would go to B. So that makes sense. Big gun, the bigger guys are inside than out. It's kind of like if you've listened to my wedge stuff, I do that with my offensive tackles too. They'll go to guards, but that's big guns. Let's see what this is. Oh, so this is if I called the gap H. This is submarine Zulu. You can see where these guys are going. Submarine, everybody knows what you're submarining in. You're going to kind of go low, try to get lower the offensive line. Zulu is, I'm going to kind of put my arms around the back of the heels and roll. So I try to bring everybody down. We can talk about that later. But there is the wedge buster Ocho Submarine Zulu for the 3-5-3. And I did get more linemen involved on that, but you can see how that would look. That pretty much concludes what we're doing for the 3 down linemen, the Hogs. Here are the resources. Really like those a lot. If you get a chance, please subscribe, hit the notify, comment. That's free. That really helps me in the algorithms. And then, of course, head over to coachparker.org and check out my playbook store. There's like 18, 17 books over there now. Beast all the way to pistol spread stuff and the Wildcat defense, blocking drills, 7-on-7, 5-man football, 8-man football, 5-on-5 flag, all that good stuff's over there. So check that out. Again, thanks for joining me to talk about the 3-5-3 Hurricane defense and stunning and blitzing for Defensive Linemen Part 1. This is video 2 of this 3-5-3 series. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, this is Coach Parker with CoachParker.org. Remember to have fun, and winning is funner. See you guys next time. Ciao.